again. This is Stephen Welsh, President of the International Chiropractors Association, with the Daily Message for Wednesday, May 27th. Well, can you believe it? Yesterday's message was taken down by YouTube for violating their community guidelines. Well, I could probably go off on a tangent about censorship, but for now, let's just stick to reviewing the science and what the data is telling us. So today, I'd like to continue that journey into a better understanding of the science, what we know, what we don't know, how and why sometimes even the so-called experts don't agree on what the data is telling us. Well, let me begin by restating that this new virus does need to be taken seriously, particularly by the elderly and those who already have a serious health condition. Now, we started out in March confronted with a novel virus and absolutely no reliable information. We are now being told by some of the experts that the virus carries very little risk to children, but very high risk to the elderly. And all the indications seem to be that the primary factor is the health of the host. So why would different experts review all of the available information and then come to different conclusions? Could it be as simple as it depends on the lens that they're looking through, the context in which they are assessing the information? So once again, let's listen to Dr. Witkowski and see what he has to say on the subject.
So I have had an academic career originally in Germany, and then I came to New York and was for 20 years with the Rockefeller University. I'm a scientist, I'm looking at data, and I'm interpreting the data to the best of my experience, and I have 35 years of that, so that sometimes helps. There is a fundamental difference how physicians and epidemiologists think. A physician sees the individual patient and wants to do the best for this patient and thinks, well, it would be good to know if that patient is actually infected by a particular virus. An epidemiologist would say, we want to know which proportion of the population has already developed antibodies and so is immune against the virus. So the virus tests and antibody tests serve different purposes, and you need people with a different profession and experience to make sure that both sides are being heard. We have evidence everywhere in the world where it was tested that people are developing antibodies. Now, herd immunity is the state where no imported infection causes secondary infections anymore. That is herd immunity, but what we are seeing here is herd immunity building, or we are approaching herd immunity as we see the proportion of people who are immune increasing. And having 25% in the population immune is a very effective barrier against a fast spread. So we may see a rebound, but the rebound will be very low and take some time. So we will have a flat curve of a rebound that will not have any major impact on health or any other indicators. I don't know where the government finds these so-called experts that obviously do not understand the very basics of epidemiology.
What's the takeaway? Well, I got one. If you look at the data through the lens of a doctor in the emergency room at the hospital, you're going to see one thing and reach one conclusion. But if you look at the information through the lens of an epidemiologist, you might reach a different one. Second takeaway. Well, when it comes to the testing, there's two kinds of tests, and they're intended to be used for two different purposes, which is why I was puzzled when I saw the recent CDC report on testing. Because what does the footnote say? It says the totals may include antibody data from some states. So when I first read that there were over 14 million tests reported and a 1.8 million tested positive, and we have antibody test data mixed in with the infection test data, can you see why we might have some differing opinions? Well, anyway, the final takeaway, don't just read the sensationalized headlines or listen to the scary sound bites. Dig a little deeper, understand the issues. That way you can more effectively educate your patients, and you can continue to reassure them there's no need for mass panic. Well, that's my update for today. Tomorrow we will examine the effects of this virus on children, and we'll see what the data may be telling us about that. Meanwhile, make sure you visit the ICA COVID resource page. Please reach out and connect with the ICA. If you're not a member, please join today. We are here for you to help you help your patients, because they do need the reassurance that there's no need for mass panic. And don't forget, you are truly their beacon of hope. And we will get through these challenging times, and we will do it by working together. Thank you.